Committee is leveling more bombshells tonight against her own party. Donna Brazile charges the Clinton campaign was a cult. And if you missed it, wow. On Tucker Carlson tonight, she tried to explain why the Democrats did not turn their email servers over to the FBI amid the Democrats' repeated allegations that they had been hacked by Russia. Listen to this.
Your concerns about hacking the servers over at the DNC. If you believe the Russians did that, why didn't the Democratic National Committee allow the FBI to examine those servers? Why were they given over to a vendor and not the U.S. government's investigators?
You know, that is a great question, and let me tell you, it's in the book as well. When the DNC officer, who was Debbie Wasserman Schultz, when it was brought to her attention, she immediately reached out to get cybersecurity experts on board. She reached out to a former number 3 at the FBI who is currently working with a group, an organization called CrowdStrike.
Yes.
Along with our cyber attorney, they provided the FBI with everything that they requested. Remember, we were still using our system.
Come on now. If you think so bottom line is it's Debbie Wasserman Schultz who made that decision. I think that's the headline here. But if you really think that the intelligence service of a foreign government is breaking into your computers in the middle of a campaign, you want actual federal investigators to get to the bottom of it. You're saying that she stopped that.
No, she did not stop it. She cooperated. She cooperated. She turned over everything. But, Tucker, we were still running a party. We still had our mainframe, being managed, being remediated.
But you could allow the FBI access to that.
All right. And it went on from there. Joining us now to break it down, townhall.com political editor and Fox News contributor Guy Benson, and Forward Solutions Strategy Group partner Isaac Wright. Good to see you both tonight.
Hello.
I'm not sure that conversation, there was more to it. But Guy, my understanding is, was everything turned over to the FBI?
Not the actual server itself. They said they basically cloned it and gave it to this vendor, which doesn't make sense to me. Still, the explanation there, Tucker asked the right question. Donna did her best to spin it, I think, and saying, well, we had a party to run. It doesn't explain why did the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not have full access, everything that they could possibly need while investigating this apparent hack by the Russian government, which is now an obsession of the Democratic Party. And look, I'm one of these conservatives who says this is an important thing to get to the bottom of. We should have the Russia investigation. Robert Mueller should do his work. This is a piece of that investigation that has never made sense to me.
Well, and by the way, she refers to CrowdStrike, the vendor that was looking into this, which that vendor has links to Fusion GPS.
Right.
So that raises more questions. But Isaac, there were a lot of Democrats who weren't thrilled that she was out there talking about these things and revealing the internal strife that was going. She used some pretty strong language. There were worries that it would hurt some of the potential elections that were held yesterday. That didn't happen. But do you think she's doing longer term damage to the party by kind of airing the dirty laundry?
I first met Donna Brazile when I was a young person on my first campaign, and I would drop off printed memos at her office because that was back in the days when we used to print things. I think she has dedicated her life to this party. I don't think there's any ill intent. Whatever you believe or disagree about the facts of the book, we'll all see when it comes out. Going back to the server question you asked earlier, I watched that segment and I thought that was a really circular conversation because in the end, they gave them a copy of the server, not the physical server. And so if you have a computer hacked, it's the computer that is hacked. It's not the physical body. It is the software. It is the files. All of that was provided to the FBI. The FBI said under oath they got what they wanted and what they needed, not the physical shell the computer was in, but the computer itself, which is what they provided.
Okay. Now, I want to read a little bit of a Bernie Sanders statement because he's been pretty quiet. I mean, we haven't seen him running out in front of cameras there to say I was right and this was stolen from me. A little bit of a statement, though. He says, what the recently released book excerpt from former interim DNC chair Donna Brazile made clear is that unless we get our act together, we're not going to be effective in either taking on Donald Trump or in stopping the extremist right-wing Republican agenda. We have to reestablish faith with the American people that, in fact, we can make positive changes in this country through a fair and transparent political process that reflects the will of voters across this country. Guy, your reaction?
Well, I think he has lots of reasons to be upset about the revelations in this book, and apparently there was an awkward phone call between Ms. Brazile and Senator Sanders about what was not known at the time and was discovered after the fact, that there was this special sweetheart deal that he didn't know about during the campaign with the Hillary people. But I think the point that he makes is perfectly fine. If you want to be a viable political party, you need to have a strong political operation if you want to win a bunch of elections. I think what we saw in Virginia last night was, even if the National Party is not in great shape in a lot of ways, if the winds are blowing a certain way, you can win anyhow. And I made this point with Bill Hemmer this morning. The RNC was not in a great place in 2009 or 2010. And guess what happened? Big-time Republican blowouts both of those years. Sometimes parties win in spite of themselves, and I think the Democrats are on that path right now. If they want to maximize their opportunities, they should so-called get their act together, to quote Senator Sanders.
Well, Isaac, quickly, do you think that they will use Donna Brazil's allegations as a bit of a point of self-reflection?
I hope that what comes out of this book is the notation of the state the party was in when she took it over. Our party was $20 million in debt and nearly broke, and we had allowed that to happen. The biggest thing I think we can take away is the fact that we as Democrats have to maintain our national party, our national apparatus. When we do and we have the resources to get our message out, we win. That's exactly what happened last night, and I think that's actually the biggest takeaway from the book.
All right, and of course, everybody wants to speculate ahead to 2018, but we'll leave it in 2017 for right now. Isaac and Guy, great to see you both.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks so much.
All right, we are keeping an eye on the president in China. We'll take you there live as soon as he speaks. In the meantime, the vice president traveled to Sutherland Springs, Texas today, just 3 days after the deadliest church shooting in U.S. history.